Welcome back to day 27. Today I want to talk about how to feel worthy, how to give yourself the gift of unconditional worthiness, of unconditional good enough, feeling of good enough. But before we can go there, let's really go to that feeling of not being good enough, of not being worthy, not being valued. Let's go there. See, most of us have that feeling. Most of us have felt that way. It's the leading cause for depression, for anxiety, for suicide. And you know what the leading illness in America definitely is? All the mental illnesses, depression, anxiety, suicide. Those are the leading illnesses. We're not talking about, illnesses that we would usually think of. We're not talking about cancer. We're not talking about any of those kind of illnesses. We're talking about mental illnesses, ones that are in our head because we just don't know how to coexist with our brain. But most of all, we just don't know how to feel worthy. And I really can relate to this. And when I say we don't know how to feel worthy, I mean it, because I still work on this every day. It's an ongoing process. But what I want to tell you is this process, it gets easier, but also we got to go to the core in order to get through it. The only way out is through, okay? There's no shortcuts. There's only one way out, and that's through. So let's go back to the core when it hurt you the most, when it actually started to sink into you that I'm not worthy. For me, it was probably when I was around 5 or 6 years old. I was diagnosed with ADHD. And I'll never forget the day I was in the parking lot and I saw the disappointment in my parents' eyes of, oh gosh, she's ill. Obviously, I was little then. I had no idea what ADHD was or anything like that, but I knew I wasn't worthy of their love. That was the moment I made this decision. I'll never forget looking at the pavement and saying, they think that I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to do better than I could have done if I didn't have this diagnosis. That was the day that I signed off my worthiness, and I decided to prove the fact that I'm worthy. I spent years running after that. It was a non-ending cycle, just like running on a treadmill trying to get to the ice cream, but it's just on the screen and there's actually no way you're getting there. If you don't feel worthy right now, welcome to the club. 1 in every 3 people in America don't feel worthy. We're talking about, hold on, I had done the math. I think it was like 300 million people. That's like a lot. That's a lot of people that don't feel worthy. And I'm sure that some of the other ones, the other 2/3, I'm sure they don't feel it either on some level and just won't admit it. But that's a lot of people. So you're part of a big, growing group of people who don't feel worthy. How much longer do you want to play this game? Run that marathon, a never-ending marathon, one that you cannot win? Or are you ready to make the decision today to change that, to make it completely go away? It won't happen overnight and it won't happen in 1 minute. It's going to be an ongoing process. I preface that by saying it so you know this. But it's one that gives you these little lights of beauty, these moments where you recognize, wow, I really am worthy. I'm curious if you did think you were worthy right this moment. This is not to put away the unworthiness, but if you did think you were worthy, if you did think you were good enough, how would you feel about yourself? How would you feel waking up every morning? How would you feel about doing the things you need to do? What would you be able to do that you can't do right now? You know what? Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And I want to look at the feelings of unworthiness, and for a moment, let's put them on the side. I notice you're there. I'm sure they're there. But right now, let's just put on the side. Let's imagine I did managed to go back and heal all the moments that I didn't feel worthy. And I just took all the unworthiness out of my brain, put it on the side. If I felt worthy, completely worthy right now, I felt like I was just good enough, what would I be able to do? See, I would be able to literally walk on air. I would run through the errands of the day and just enjoy it. I'd love it. I'd love living every moment of today. I'd listen to music louder than I usually do. I'd laugh more. I'd enjoy spending time with myself. I would just enjoy my life much more today. What about you? Come back into the room nice and slow. And rub your hands together and just get some energy. Put it all over your eyes and slowly get used to the room again and come back in. What about you? Where did you go to when you saw that vision of feeling worthy, of that thought of not being worthy, just leaving? See, unworthiness is why we try to please people. We people please. Unworthiness because we want to be worthy of their love. We don't want them to walk away. Unworthiness is why we have the fear of abandonment. They kind of go hand in hand. They switch off. But fear of rejection, it's really a fear of being unworthy, of not being good enough. What if we can go there and give ourselves unconditional worthiness? What if you make the decision right now that you're going to walk that walk, whatever it takes, and go there? I can spend hours on this, so I'm going to wrap it up right here. But I want to tell you, hopefully I'll have the opportunity to one day do just even 30 days on it or 10 days on it, just so that you can see this alone, how you do it. But right now, that shouldn't stop you from making the decision. The homework for today, the one thing you can do today is sit with yourself and envision a life where you wake up every morning feeling worthy. And when you're done and that unworthy feeling comes up or makes you feel uncomfortable or you feel like, tell it, thank you. But for right now, let me just sit with this because, my God, I like that. And enjoy it. Enjoy every minute. Allow it to engulf you, the feeling of being worthy. All right. See you soon.